Welcome back to Lessons with My Lawyer. We're happy to have you here, and we are actually growing, and we enjoy your support. I'm here with my good friend and colleague, and a great lawyer, by the way, from Stalcup Law, Brett Stalcup. How you doing, Brett?
Good, good, good. Thank
Once
you.
again, once again, we appreciate you joining us today. We encourage you to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Lessons with My Lawyer. And if you have a question, please send it to lessonswithmylawyer@gmail.com. So, Brett, I got a story for you,
Cool,
and you're gonna help us all out, I think.
cool, cool.
I have a friend, and you know them. This is someone that we know pretty well. But I have a friend, and their spouse sells advertising to rapid transit companies like buses and trains and so forth. And one of their biggest clients that they sell to are these ambulance chasing attorneys. I know they're not your favorite,
I hate them all.
but they're all out there. And one day, while waiting for the bus, a patron got bumped, allegedly, and then claimed grievous bodily harm. So the accuser remembered a number that was advertised on the side of one of these buses that happened to be one of these ambulance chasing type lawyers. And so the lawyer that they hired has sued everybody connected to the incident, including the city, the county, the bus manufacturer, and the advertising company. And they've done so in a class action suit. So my first question is, what is a class action suit?
Class action can be brought by usually 40 plaintiffs, but one person can bring it if they can show other people were harmed in the same manner. That guy's not going to make it stick on that deal.
Okay. Well, also, this person was a little worried because they were just the salesperson that sold the ad on the side of the bus, but they were named in the suit also. So, are there any protections for those people that are
No,
named in the suit?
I don't think that. Who was the bus? Who was the bus
It was
company?
the Dallas Rapid Transit bus.
No, I don't think they're going to have governmental immunity.
So, so they're a part of the suit no matter what.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Are-
they're not going to be, you got to show causation. They're going to have a hard time keeping them in. See, they can name everybody they want, but nowadays we have safeguards where if I was to file a motion to dismiss and win, they have to pay my attorney's fees. That would be a good one to do it on.
Okay. So that's the legal recourse.
Yes.
Is lawyer up, and then get you to file a dismissal
Yeah. Motion to dismiss.
motion to dismiss. So what's the purpose of why do these types of lawsuits include everybody surrounding the incident? I mean, what is the relevance to the case?
It depends. You try to get as much insurance involved as you can. Everyone has an insurance company. Insurance people jump in, and that way you can get a larger settlement. Depends on the damages. Damages have to support it.
Are there people that actually win this type of thing, even when it's
Yeah, everybody's going to settle most likely. It depends
because
on the
nobody wants to
damage.
go to because nobody
Yeah,
wants to go to court, right?
we call those damage suits. And so on a damage suit, you have to show it's broken out in two parts: liability, damages. Liability, damages. You have to show liability and you have to show your damages. So most of the time, one of the two is going to be messed up. Ah, great damages, but no liability. Oh, great liability, but no damages. It's usually the way it works.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I've been doing a deep dive into the First Amendment this week. So, have you ever? So, this is kind of our story time element. You're free to just dig deep into the box of stories here. But have you ever had a case involving First Amendment rights?
Never,
Never. Is that a
never.
is that a different type
It's
of?
like a freedom of speech, constitutional case. Oh yeah, no, 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 no. I'm involved in one right now. but it's in Houston, and I'm just the local lawyer because of my DC guys are in the lawsuit. They do constitutional law. I don't do constitutional law.
So what are some of the pitfalls and pratfalls with constitutional law? Is it subject to more of an interpretation? Do you have to
It's
pass
called
that up?
yeah, it's called so enforceability, right? It's enforcing your First Amendment right. What's the damages? Hence again, carcass, liability, damages. Hard to show damages in a First Amendment right. Usually, your damages include some type of enforcement or injunctive relief, not to do with what we call money.
Hmm. Because I've seen some of these, and obviously the First Amendment gives us the freedom to worship as we may, worship, whatever we believe
Yeah,
religiously. So,
we get all those prayer at the pole cases.
so do I mean, obviously I can't just walk into somebody's church service and interrupt, can I? Would that be
No,
grounds for a lawsuit or some sort of a federal or a charge of some sort?
yeah, interrupt doing what?
Having a church service.
Oh, what are you going to do, Carcass? You're going to go in there with a some kind of anniversary horn or something, blowing or tooting?
I don't know. They did it in Minnesota. They just walked in and started interrupting a church service.
No, you're going to get sued. You're going to get a federal case brought against because you have a right to worship, and once you start interrupting that right, they can bring a federal case. Most of the constitutional cases that are brought are in federal court.
I
Big
gotcha.
difference.
So,
Big difference.
is it legal for a judge to consider religion when making a ruling then?
No,
No?
okay, a very interesting question, Carcass. You got the ecclesiastical defense. You know what that is?
Are they protected like government officials are?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Churches, like the Catholic Church, argue that the courts don't have standing to bring a religious organization into the court. So when a church members sue the church, the fastest way to get it thrown out is what? You have no
No
standing
standing.
to come into this court and bring a legal action against our church. Courts don't have jurisdiction over a church.
Okay. So,
But fun to watch, not fun to be part of.
gotcha. So,
Especially, let me tell you, some of these churches, these big churches, dude, they got $200 million in assets. And when they start fighting each other, they'll drop a lot of money to lawyers.
well, it
You
seems
got to
that
think,
water's getting more muddy as the days go on.
yeah, you get into the fight of can a church member bring action against a church? I would say no, they don't have standing. They don't. Now, can the board of a church member bring a cause of action against the board of directors? Maybe. It's difficult to say. I would never get on the board of directors for that reason.
Hmm. Well, then let's really step into it. Can a business legally refuse service for religious reasons? Like I know the whole cake thing, the cake maker
I'm not
didn't.
serving you a pie because you're Jewish.
No, because maybe, well, yeah,
I
yeah,
would argue that's a different type of deal.
okay,
I think you can almost serve anybody you want, not serve anybody you want if you're selling stuff in the store, right? Do you have a
right.
duty? Do you have a duty to sell to everybody?
Well, I would think if you were open to the public, that you would have to pretty much accept everybody. Is that not? Am
I
I?
don't know. Well, let me throw another one at you.
Okay.
So if you're a bartender and you're over serving somebody alcohol, it's a dram shop case. You can't serve them. You have a duty not to serve, right?
Okay.
So I think you have a. I don't think you have a duty to serve everybody that walks in your store. I'd have to look at that one, Carcass.
Okay. Well, that's something we can address down the line.
Okay.
But so let's say that I'm an uber Christian person, and somebody walks into my cake shop and they want just gory satanic images on a cake, and I just say, yeah, I'd prefer not to do that.
Or you say we don't do that kind of cake. You
Okay.
got the right to do whatever kind of cake you want, bro.
Because I do freelance art on the side, and just as a side note, I refuse to do some projects because they're just not, some of that stuff is just not my wheelhouse, and I just don't want
Yeah,
to put my name on it.
I get that.
So, but
I
that's
think
that.
it's the same for a cake maker or a pie maker.
Okay.
Boy, if it wasn't true, God, you'd have loose lawsuits galore, you know?
I think we kind of talked about this a week or two ago, but what's the dumbest law in the books that still exists, in your opinion?
The dumbest law in the books that still exist. I responded to you, the possession of marijuana. Uh, if you just have a little bit of less than a gram of marijuana on you to arrest somebody for that, and it costs them $5,000 to get through the system, I think that is just dumb. You know what I mean?
So,
Dumb.
do you think that should be deregulated? Maybe that's not a good question to ask. Do you think it
Maybe
should be? You think pot should be legal just like alcohol or cigarettes? Or
a minimum amount,
okay,
possession of a minimum amount. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
okay, but the at this point, since in the state of Texas, not unlike other states like Colorado, California, where if you're caught driving under the influence, doesn't matter if it's alcohol or weed,
You're
it
toast.
seems like it's more severe if it's weed.
It's harder to prove if it's weed.
Hmm.
And alcohol, you can take a blood test, boom. Or it's the same with the weed too. You take a blood test. Uh, but that's interesting. You know, Carcass, California, it's legal to have weed, right?
Yes.
So what if somebody living in Texas buys from California where it's legal and it's shipped to them FedEx?
Well, once again, the water gets really muddy, and that's why I don't quite understand why there's not more of a unified front on something like this.
Carcass, there is so much going on right now in the dope world. It's there's an app called Telegram. Have you heard of that app?
I've man, I Facebook is an
No,
Instagram
no,
biggest apps.
Telegram. That's where
Oh,
all the dope dealers go because it deletes within 24 hours. So they go into the chat room. You know how many of them are in a chat room together? 600 at one time buying coke from each other.
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
And that's legal?
No, it is very illegal, and it's a federal case.
Hmm.
Don't go on Telegram, Carcass. Just
No,
don't
I
go
wouldn't.
on it.
Like I say, if you want to send me an email, great. If you want to DM me on my Instagram or my Facebook, I'm cool with that. But I don't ever
Dude,
do.
I'm telling you, in this day and time, the first thing we ask on a deposition is what's your user ID on Instagram? What's your user ID and password on Facebook? What's your user ID and password on X? That's it. We go straight to it and look and tell everything about you. I'm saying stay off of it. And like Facebook's, if you put out on Facebook that you're in Vegas having this great big time and your name is Brett Stalcup, I'm in Vegas with my family. we've had a blast for the last 3 days. We're going to stay another 5. And the crook's going to be at your house knocking out the glass before you know it.
Well, and that's the only reason I advertise for my one of my other radio shows and my artwork, and that's pretty much it. I
Yeah.
don't want to tip my hand because you're right. The world is pretty smart like that,
Yeah.
and the crooks are not dumb. Uh,
No, and I'm just learning from the bank because I got hacked a couple of months ago. It's taken this long to let it calm out, but the bank just told me the only reason that these guys do it all because they don't want to pay taxes. The reason they're crooks is the reason they want to steal money from us so they don't have to pay taxes.
wow.
Money they earn.
Well, I don't want to pay taxes either, but I do because I'm here legally and I live here. So
Yeah.
I understand there's a price to be paid. I had an interesting experience since I'm bilingual. I speak Spanish and my last trip to Colorado on the airplane, I was sitting with a couple of Latin lieutenants. Let's say you can tell the cartel guys because of the way they dress and how eloquent they are. But they were basically saying that Colorado's put the cartels in a legal business situation, and they kind of
Oh
were up.
yeah.
They were scouting some of the mom and pop shops, and they were about ready to go make some deals like that couldn't be refused, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so we've just set them up and put them in business. Heck, they don't even have to import it anymore. They can just grow it in their backyard practically. So,
Well,
do
well,
you see
marijuana in Kansas, marijuana is the number one cash crop.
really?
Yeah, that's what they do. They have all the wheat fields, cotton fields, and cornfields, and in the middle they put marijuana.
Hmm. So you
Yep,
can't see it from the road, but you can see
can't
it
see
from
it from
the
the
air, huh?
road. Yep, drones have to cut through.
So do you see a time in the future, in the near future, where something like marijuana is legal throughout
Yeah.
the United
Yeah.
States?
Well, the only problem with it though is the THC is about 100 times strong as it used to be when we were growing up, and there's no telling what they spray it with.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I don't
wouldn't. I wouldn't put it in my mouth.
But if it were legal and you had to go to the shop to buy it and whatever,
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna sell you some organic weed.
okay. I hear
I'm gonna sell you
your air quotes loud and clear.
some plant-based organic weed. Yeah,
Yeah. Kind of like the plant-based organic bread or
yeah,
bologna or
plant-based
whatever else.
organic cocaine. Yeah,
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Well, as always, this has been very interesting and very educational.
yeah.
And once again, we admonish you to like and subscribe to the podcast, Lessons with My Lawyer, and send us a message, please. We'd like to hear from you at lessonswithmylawyer@gmail.com. And
Cool.
we appreciate you paying attention to us and giving us a little bit of your time. Thanks, Brett.
You bet.
Have a
Y'all
good
have a
week.
good night.
Yep. See ya.